Welcome to Krav Life. My name is Paul Simos, and today on Train to Fight, we have a special guest with us, Mr. Lior Offenbach. He's going to be discussing his views on Krav Maga and the direction that it should be taking. So it's going to be very interesting. Hang around and listen to the interview. Afterwards, hang out with us on our community, and we can discuss some of the stuff that Lior talked about. And if you want to just hang around and network with other Kravists, the Krav Life community is the perfect place to do it. So just go to mykravlife.com, click on community, and you can see what's going on in the community and join the community for free and participate in the discussion and network with Kravists from all over the world. All right, so without further ado, here is Mr. Lior Offenbach. All right, sir. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. And you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. So for the people in our audience that don't know who you are, can you just give us a little bit of an introduction as to your organization and who you are?
My name is Lior. I'm heading the CKMI, which is Combat Krav Maga International. Altogether, we operate now for like 12 years approximately, and we're quite well globally established throughout 3.5 continents, if not 4.
Oh, nice. So you have studios in where? Europe and North America, and where else?
Europe is our main base. We have South America, North America we're working on now. We have a little bit in Asia, India. We have cooperations in Australia, and we had a few in Canada as well, but not anymore. I don't have studios is a funny word. I cooperate with people that want to maybe expand or look at self-defense a little bit differently. Sometimes I don't do this master pyramid thing. It's not me.
Okay. So it's more like a network than a top-down organization.
That will be the correct terminology. That's it.
Perfect. So let's get into your history. How did everything start for you? Was Krav Maga the first thing you ever did, or did you have prior martial arts experience?
I started out with karate, and I made my way through a few fighting systems. Krav Maga I met when I was in the police force. I wanted to focus on something a little bit more street-oriented. This is when I started to train, and the rest is history, as we say.
Okay, so so you went from the police force, and did you do Krav Maga in the military too, as well, or?
You do Krav Maga in the military when you're a combatant, depending on what unit you are in. But my major bulk of Krav Maga training was when I was a police officer.
There we go.
Yeah, that's okay. I decided that I need to spend more time dealing with street-oriented fighting. So this is what happened.
Okay. And is there a difference between the Krav Maga that you learned in the military and the police?
Again, the police doesn't teach you Krav Maga. You need to do it by yourself.
Oh, okay.
In the military, Krav Maga is like mission profile oriented. That means that you will go, if you can, you will go immediately to your firearm. The major assumption is to fight, disconnect, and go to the firearm, doing whatever you need to do with it. Police and civilian life, it's different because the regulations are different, the mission profile is different. So it's a different look at things.
Okay.
In the military, you will be more covered usually with support team, police and civilian less.
Okay. And so how did it transition from learning Krav Maga in the police force and to teaching? Like, how did you make that leap?
I've been teaching some kind of martial art from the age of 22. I'm 45 now. I started with teaching karate. That's the macro. The micro is again, you need to identify the mission profile. You need to identify the objectives. You need to identify the pros and cons, and you need just to logically build a system of teaching on top of that. Okay. Police force will be usually apprehending a suspect. This will be the major goal. And in civilian life, the major goal is surviving the first collision, disconnecting if possible, and just evacuating yourself or your loved ones from the scene as fast as possible.
Okay. And in what year did you, well, you said you started teaching karate. What year, like when did you start teaching Krav Maga then?
Krav Maga, I started teaching, when I was in my 30s. I guess something like 15 years ago, something like that.
All right. And did you have your own studio right away, or did you teach for somebody else?
I taught for my teacher. Okay, we had the biggest studio. We had the biggest network in Israel, hundreds of students, and afterwards I decided to do my own thing, also from the teaching and focusing perspectives.
Okay. And sorry, who did you train with?
My teacher was Zev Cohen. Today is with Krav Maga Global. Okay, one of the highest ranking there, and he was my teacher.
Okay. And so you started your own studio, and then how did that evolve into the organization that it is today?
My main goal, after seeing what's happening in Krav Maga, my main goal was to simplify things.
Okay.
Make them less martial artsy in the sense of too many solutions for one problem. We tend to give one solution to many problems, and also from the let's call it from the physical aspect of how the organization is built. We don't have a master on top, which is kindly giving out secrets for survival. We believe that there's no secrets. We want to teach fast. We want to teach logically, and we want to teach everybody. No grades, no kimonos, no belts, no nothing. Just hands-on and just saving lives. That's the idea.
Okay. And so what were you started to mention some of the problems that you saw with the way Krav Maga was going. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the way you felt Krav Maga was going?
Yeah, of course. During the years, a lot of people turned Krav Maga into something like a martial art. Meaning you will start, you will have many solutions for one problem. You will have to have your pinky exactly in the right position. You will need to go through tests that have less relevance to real life. You will have to go through grading and practically do copy paste what the master is doing. Now, the problem is when you have masters coming from different backgrounds or with different physical abilities, their Krav Maga looks like something that will be comfortable for them. And the entire pyramid of things will start copy-pasting the master. If they don't do it, they will not be graded and they will not get more tools. We don't have that. We don't have that. Our objective is just to reach out to as many people as possible and tailor the training to their abilities. For example, if you're a 50-kilo woman, you cannot focus on the same attributes that like a 120-kilo guy has. Right. So I will, the teacher will be smart enough and educated enough to make you focus on the tools that will help you elevate your chances to survive in a real life attack. So not everybody is focusing on the same. Everybody is getting a toolbox, and we promote the usage of the right tools to each one of the students.
Okay. Can you give an example of just like a simple technique where you know, the 100-pound woman and like the 200-pound man would be different?
Yeah, the 200-pound man will be, I'll guess, will be stronger in clinching, for instance. Okay. Okay, or with push kicks, or anything to do with brute force. The 100-pound women will need to work more on agility, on speed, on disconnecting, and of course on hitting vital points a little bit clearer, because she doesn't have the force behind it to make an impact even if she misses. Right. So, for example.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, what were some of the why? Sorry, I mean, why do you think Krav Maga was becoming more like a martial art at that point? Money. Yeah. So
that's it.
So just like a way, just as a way to stretch things out and keep students longer.
Completely. It's like I don't know what happened to Taekwondo in the United States. Okay, belts and another belt, and of course everybody pays money for that. Now, I'm not against money. I'm against bullshitting my students. I'll give you an example. One of my gradings in my past organization, my teacher came in and said, "Today we're doing the triple attack." I asked him, "What is the triple attack?" He wanted me to stand on one leg, kicking and punching in the same time. I said to him, "Well, that's not really logical, because the leg is longer than the fist, so I probably be kicking him first and punching him. And I don't like to stand on one leg doing all kind of acrobatic shit, because I don't feel that a lot of my students can do that." He said, "You need it for the grading." I said, "Okay." I gave him a bow, turned myself, and left the room. So that's the story. All those I don't know, spinning kicks and that's and kicking him to the head. Not a lot of people can do that, and under real street shit occurrences, it's not even logical to do it. So that's the example.
So how do you feel? What's the best way as an industry we can kind of prevent Krav Maga from getting watered down, because it's so inconsistent?
You know what? There's no preventing it. There's no, because a lot of people, if you look without insulting anybody, of course, if you look at the Krav Maga people, most of the Krav Maga people that train are good people. You're looking at middle class, high class people, people that never really experienced violence. Okay. Right. So it's easy to sell them dreams, and they like the sweat, they like the t-shirt, they like the community, which is completely okay. So I'm not trying to prevent it. I'm trying to give another aspect of things.
Right.
That's it. You cannot fight the world, and I don't want to fight the world. If somebody comes to me and says to me, Leo, what is your take on things? I will show them. If they like it, great. If not, that's okay as well. I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting anything.
And I think you kind of hit that on the head, especially here in North America, where a lot of the instructors don't have that street experience. It's here, like where I live, right? It's not a violent country. We don't have riots in the streets. We don't have lots of carjackings. Like, it's not South Africa or other countries where that is a daily occurrence. Do you think that has an effect on how Krav Maga is taught and how it's learned?
First of all, of course, I've been traveling a lot, and you can see when you come to countries where the violence rate is higher, it's harder to sell people dreams of you can be Superman and fight everybody and kill everybody if you do what I tell you to do. People are not innocent. In wealthier countries where the violence rate is low, you can tell people whatever you tell, and you can come out from this. I love my country. I'm an Israeli badass. I've been in the military, special forces, and people will buy the dream. But saying that, you always need to look at the objective. If somebody comes to me and says, Leo, I want to train just for fun, I say, well, good. That's your objective. I respect that. Everything is okay. We don't camouflage what we do. We don't sugarcoat it. And of course, when you come from a wealthier country where there's no violence, sometimes people just don't need it. Just don't need the hard contact, the fighting, whatever. We do it in our dojos, but we explain the logic behind it. Okay, but I will never have the everyday Joe or the housewife spar 80% with somebody 30 kilos above them, because I know at the end of the day she needs to wake up to work, and she cannot go all bruised and battered in the morning after.
Okay, so let's say you moved to North America and you were teaching North Americans, and you know that this is kind of the mentality in North America. So obviously you wouldn't train them as hard as you would in a different country, or leave it optional for them to train that hard.
I will leave it optional. It optional.
Now, is this where your mission objective thing comes in? Because if let's say you have that housewife that you're training, and then she mentions to you, "Oh, I'm going on a trip to South Africa," would you then be like, "Well, since you're going to South Africa, then I think you need to start learning this stuff"?
Again, all about the objectives. Of course, 99% of fighting is pre-fighting, avoidance, recognition, understanding where you are, what you can do, what you cannot do, and not come into a situation that will be hard to leave afterwards. This is the main thing. But the most important thing is to look at the student at the eye to eye, and to explain them the logic of what we are doing. The problem with masters and a lot of people that call themselves heads of a system is that they come in the room and say, what I say goes, this is the only way, this is the truth, and you need to abide by it. We don't do that. Any single thing that we are doing, we explain the logic. And then we ask the student, and then do you want that, or do you not, or don't you? You decide. You decide. It's not up to me. I'm giving a service. I'm giving a service. I want to serve you. What's your objective? You're going to South Africa? Let me help you. But you're staying in your suburb home and nothing happens to you? Maybe you just need to come in for 2 hours a week of punching a bag, feeling a little bit more self-secured, and that's it. I will give the entire rainbow of options, and you will choose, not me.
Okay. So it's kind of putting the responsibility for their own protection back in their own hands. Okay.
Which will be the case when they encounter somebody on the street. They cannot call me to say, Lior, come and help me.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. So I forgot where I was going to go with that. Because you got me thinking on some things. Do you guys do a lot of the situational awareness training as well in your system, or is that something that people kind of have to find on their own, or is it interweaved just as tips here and there?
All those fancy terms like situational awareness and scanning and those are things that come with time. Okay. A lot of schools do like seminars and workshops on all kind of terminologies that practically are very, very simple. Giving it a explosive term sells. We don't do that. I will give you an example. A lot of times people in Krav Maga press themselves on the ability of scanning the environment. Okay. It likes something very, very unique. I came into a workshop one time and a guy asked me, Lior, what is your take about scanning the environment? I told him, listen, I'll give you it for free, no charge. Look to your right, look to your left. There you go. You scan the area. That's it. We don't waste time on terminology. We invest time in training. You will be well trained. Believe me, you will start to sniff out situations and people quite fast.
Yeah, and I think situational awareness, right? That's more of an experience thing, right? Because people that live in dangerous areas, they're more naturally situationally aware than someone that's grown up in a rich area where nothing happens.
We are animals. Whatever you're accustomed to do, you will do. Simple as that. Simple as that. You cannot. I don't know what. You cannot take a student and say to him, "Come to my workshop. I will teach you how to kill in 3 hours." You cannot do that. I'll tell you a nice story. A guy once, a very good instructor, told me that he is teaching his students to work with a baton, okay, with a stick, as a weapon of self-defense if they encountered it on the street. He told me the story. I was polite. I listened. At the end of the story, I asked him, "Tell me, brother, did you ever smash a stick to somebody's head?" He said to me, "No." Do you think that your students will have the audacity to take a stick and to break somebody's head, crack it open? He said, "I don't know." I said to him, "That's the problem. You can do whatever you want to do, but if your students are not accustomed, they don't have it in them, what do you think will happen when the shit hits the fan and the adrenaline dump happens and the tunnel vision happens and they're afraid? What do you think? Do you think that they can operate?" The same with situational awareness. If you don't have the experience, if you don't have the right training, you can call it whatever you want. Under stress, all of that will go out the window as fast as you can, I don't know what, do. So no terminology, just training.
Yeah. So what sort of training do you do to help prepare your students for that, like for that stress that happens?
We fight. We fight, but we're keeping it safe because I don't want my students to be injured. So let's talk about the weekly schedule. The first training will be a technical training dealing with the problem that the instructor decided to deal with. Okay?
Mhm.
Then we will take this problem and we will break it into pieces: technical, fighting, and aggression. With this is practically what you need, and stress. This is practically what you need. Let's say I will give an example. I'm going to teach my students how to defend from a stab from above. Okay. First training will be technical. Then I will take this. I will imply it with good striking abilities. I will imply it with aggression when the aggressor really wants to kill you. And at the end of the week, I will take all the pieces of the puzzle, combine them together, and will give them 1 hour of hell, because this will make them better. Okay? Instead of my pinky is here, my pinky is there, do exactly what I tell you to do, I want them better fighters at the end of the week. This will make their survival possibility go higher, not down.
So what sort of things do you do in the stress phase? Like when you're giving them hell?
Listen, stress is can be two things: physical and mental. Okay.
Right.
Sometimes we'll focus on the physical. That means heart pounding, loss of breath, etc., etc., etc. And sometimes we'll deal with the mental. That means uncertain environment. And sometimes we will combine them both. It all depends on what I decided that my students need at this point of time. For example, if, God forbid, in my hometown, there will be a stabbing event in that week, I will not come into class on Monday teaching release from a frontal choke. I will teach defense against a knife stab, exactly like reality demands. Now, the problem is with a lot of Krav Maga organizations that they have a fixed syllabus, and this syllabus doesn't change, because if you want the next stripe on your belt, you will need to work on that things and not on what is relevant for reality.
Yeah. So in your organization, you said there's no belts or levels or anything like that, or is there? Is there like instructor certification then, I guess?
Instructors, of course. Of course. You cannot teach if you didn't do an instructor course. But the second an aggressor will start asking me what level you are before attacking me, this is the second that I will start having belts. Yeah. I will go with a pink headband if needed to show him that I'm scary and effective. But most of the aggressors don't give a fuck about your grade. Okay.
Yeah. So how do you grade your instructors? So because obviously the instructors, even though they're adapting their curriculum to the students and the needs of the environment, the instructors need to know a certain set of skills in order to do that. How do you, like, what sort of levels or system do you have for promoting instructors?
It's very simple. And a guy or a girl enrolling to our instructor course cannot have less than 3 years of experience. Okay. By the way, not only in Krav, it can be any kind of contact sport that deals with true contact: boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, strong grappling, wrestling, etc. Krav is a simple fighting system. What we do in the instructor courses is to teach them two things: the principles, the techniques, and also the ability to teach.
Right.
Okay. Now, but no one will step on the tatami on an instructor course without experience. I can tell you, unfortunately, that a lot of organizations that want to sustain the pyramid will put people through instructor courses after 1 year of very, very watered down basic training, which in my eyes is not correct. Not for the guy that is doing the instructor course, and for sure not for his future students.
Okay. And how often, I guess it's a little different now, but how often do you like to do these instructor courses?
First of all, it depends, but we have reps and myself all over the globe. So usually it's periodically in the people that cooperate with us. It's periodically, like every 6 months or so. But sometimes we'll get a request from wherever, and we will go and we'll teach. It's we don't operate like the others. It's not the money making pyramid thing. We're a little bit different.
Okay. And do you have a requirement for how often instructors have to recertify or keep up their skills? Like, how do you maintain that control or that quality?
Listen, after so many years, me and my top team that is delivering instructor courses, we managed to sniff out people that are not serious. Usually, those people will flank out during the course itself. Okay, but I will always give the responsibility to the instructor to maintain capability. All of our instructors, all of them, cross-train in striking and grappling and any kind of fighting, because Krav Maga is practically a mishmash of a few combat sports. Right. And the second the instructor is training regularly, he will have the broad mind to keep him interesting and efficient for his students. Once in a while, we'll get everybody together, we'll train together, but I will always leave the responsibility and the professionality and the integrity to the instructor himself. If I don't see that this is the case, I will tell him once, I will tell him twice, and then I will tell him bye-bye.
Okay. And okay, so if someone wanted to get involved and take one of your instructor courses or a course from one of your team, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you guys?
We are all over the place, social media, websites. People know us. And usually, it travels from mouth to ear. Okay, and we don't promote ourselves heavily. No Google ads, no Facebook ads, no this, no that, because we have a good reputation and we like to keep it like a family. We keep it. We like to keep it, smaller, but if I may say, effective and with quality.
Well, that's good. That's all we can hope for in our industry, right? Is that all the Kravists out there continue to expand their skills and bring everybody effective Krav Maga.
Very important. Yeah. Very important. Very, very important.
Well, sir, this has been a fun chat. And I want to thank you for coming on to the show and taking the time out of your busy schedule to do that. And hopefully one day we can get you back on. Do you have any plans to visit North America at any point in time?
COVID made a lot of changes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of changes, and I can tell you, and I hope that this will not be cut out from the editing. I was traveling almost for 12 years. Okay, I lost my son growing up. I didn't see it, And I caught my little baby girl at the age of 4, luckily me, because of COVID. Okay, so today, unlike the past days, I'm not doing everything by myself. My top team is doing some of the things. And I hope that every instructor that hears me will make sure that career and money and I don't know, self-growth does not come first. Family comes first, and your children come first.
Exactly. And just for the people here in North America, who should they go to for training?
We have a few top guys in the United States, mainly James, which is situated in Kansas City. Okay. But anybody that wants to reach out, just drop me or my guys a line. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. I'm available almost 24/7. I always respond as quickly as possible. And I will give them the direction that they need. Even if they don't train with me or with us, I will always be happy to answer questions and to guide them wherever they need to go.
Perfect. Well, hopefully you don't get a flood of questions, but all right, sir. Thank you very much. You enjoy the rest of the day with your family.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for waking up so early for me. Thank you very much.
Oh, not a problem. Have a good day.
Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.